Hey everybody, it's here. It's Domains 201. I'm excited. I think everyone here is excited. Hopefully, everyone attending is excited. I'm Taylor Jaden. I work at Reclaim Hosting, and obviously, and I'm a community instructional technologist. And I work on our Reclaim EdTech team. So we do events like this and workshops and stuff, and also consultative you know, help and advice and thinking through problems for folks to help them make the most use out of domain of one's own and other stuff we do at Reclaim. So, but I'm going to have everyone else introduce themselves too, starting with Amanda.
Hi, everyone. I'm Amanda Schmidt. I'm the instructional support specialist here at Reclaim, and I work very closely with everyone on the team, but certainly with Taylor because I am situated snugly in the EdTech team as well. So I do a lot of work with Taylor to coordinate and organize these events, but also everyone does. It's a big team effort at all points. And so we're very excited to bring this to you. So great to be here.
Pilot.
Yeah. I'm Pilot. I am the hosting account manager at Reclaim, and I work very closely with EdTech in terms of organizing events and consultations and things like that. I'm also the person that you can email when you have a problem, which isn't like, I don't want you to associate me with all of the problems, but if you do have one, it's my job to either help you figure out what you need or get you to the person who can help one way or another.
We associate you with solutions.
There we go. I like that much better.
Meredith?
Absolutely. I'm Meredith, and on the flip side, you can ask me questions and come to me with the problems. I'm the senior support specialist at Reclaim. I am primarily in support, but also, like everybody else, also rooted in a lot of the other teams. So I coordinate with the EdTech team for these events, and then also working with our other teammates to kind of work through any problems you might have. So Pilot will route things to me, but I am the question and answerer extraordinaire on that side. So happy to be here. And this is actually my first workshop where I've, or second workshop, but first virtual workshop where I've been in a lot of the sessions. So I'm very excited to be here today.
Yeah, it's great to have you.
Yeah, so I wanted to, we're going to talk about what's coming up today a little bit. But I wanted to also just talk about the tech here a little bit, go a little meta into where everything is. If you're new to this, we do our virtual events in kind of a unique way for a reason. We like to do this kind of setup because this allows us to sort of have a high production quality while still having a conversation going throughout the day and making recordings of everything immediately available after. So if you're tuning in even like 10 minutes after, it's already available and you don't need to be pointed to a specific link. This also kind of helps us, maintain that conversation without everyone have to being like in a Zoom meeting for 6 hours, which is not a lot of fun for anybody. So, that's kind of peeling back the curtain why we do it this way, and we're always kind of looking to improve. But I also wanted to sort of talk about the tech here a little bit. I'm going to pull up my my screen here muted, and so this is the watch site. Presumably, this is where you're looking at right now. And a couple things I wanted to point out here. So, of course, you've got our Discord over on the side here, and you can use the box here to type. Especially nice if you are only using one monitor, so you can kind of watch and talk at the same time. And you may have to log into this separately, where you will have to set because this is in your browser. So if you already have like the Discord app open, just click on that and it will show a login screen for Discord. And a couple other things. So at the top here, we've got a list of the day's schedule. You can, pick up the little scroll bar here or scroll. And we've got the entire schedule for the event listed up here. So day 1 and 2, they are your time zone. So I'm in Central Time. So, maybe don't pay super attention to these events times here. But, those are up there. You can click on each session to jump to it. So if I click on a future session, it will show that there's, hey, this one's going to start in about 23 minutes, or if I jump later in the day, But immediately after, you can also click on past sessions and see the recording, basically immediately after. So, and this will stay. So even after the event's over, this page will still exist, and you can come here and see all of the recordings. Other than that, it's good to point out that we do have on here, short descriptions for each thing. And if you're ever having a problem with something that should be live but isn't, just refresh the page. Sometimes a YouTube player is a little bit weird when something immediately goes live. So a quick refresh of the page is basically all you need, and it's going to automatically jump to whatever's live. You can also toggle this little button over here as well, or you can just click on the event directly. So all of those are little troubleshooting options. And of course, if you're having any problems, let us know in the Discord. We have a few folks right now who are talking through that right at this moment. Anything else about the watch site you all think I should talk about before we kind of talk about today's schedule?
I don't think so. The really nice thing about the watch site is that it's meant to be a pretty simple, easy to navigate layout. So aside from that sort of troubleshooting live access to the video, there really isn't too much more to it, I suppose, besides like signing into Discord.
Alana in the Discord is having an issue right now. I'm going to put a message in because they can't hear me talking. But it looks like there's an issue with Alana, with that particular browser, at least, with it pulling in the times correctly. So if we can just send Alana a direct YouTube link or to click on the name of the session, we can look at what's up with the times. But because ultimately these are YouTube videos, so they're going to be links that you can share. Okay, so kind of looking through the day here, we're doing introductions right now, obviously, and in a few minutes, we'll wrap these up and go to a refresh on WordPress, WHMCS, and WHM, and that'll be with Pilot, Meredith, and Amanda. We're doing this as kind of a recap, just because while some of you in the audience may have some familiarity with all of these systems, even though this is 201, I do think it's good to have a baseline for everyone to jump in and have a recap of how do these things work together, what do we sort of recommend doing where, and that kind of stuff. Because we will, throughout the day and tomorrow, go into a lot more depth and detail in various places on all of these. So it's good to have a kind of jumping off point that we can all kind of work from. So after that, we have cleaning up your WordPress portal. This is with Pilot and I, and we're going to go into quite a bit of detail, actually, about how the WordPress portal works and all the plugins that make it work and how the theme works and what you can do to customize it and clean it up and make it work the way you want to. Anything you want to add to that, Pilot, on that session?
No, I think that just about covers it. We do get into the classic what happens when Taylor and I do graphic design off the cuff a little bit towards the end. So you have that to look forward to. It's going to be fun. But I think you really covered just about everything. So that should be it.
Awesome. So, and then after that one is making WHMCS work for you. And that's with Meredith and Amanda. Do you all want to, one of you want to talk about that session a little bit?
Yeah, so we'll go through the importance of WHMCS and working in between the three systems within Domain of One's Own, which we'll talk about in the next session, but also elaborate more in depth in this session. It should be really fun. I will say there's little cuts here and there, so definitely keep an eye out for those because it'll kind of flow nicely from there. So yeah, looking forward to the in-depth look at WHMCS for sure.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited for that one because WHMCS does so much, and we almost very rarely get to dive in deeper than like, hey, this is a list of people who've logged into your domain of one's own, basically. So it's cool that we can kind of touch on some of those more advanced features. So,
Yeah.
um, and then finally, at the end of the day, we've got our wrap up with basically the whole team, and it's just a quick 15-minute kind of check in. But what I would encourage you all to think about throughout the day as you're watching the session is, we do have that listed as a Q&A, and you can obviously ask questions during that time, but also ask them in the Discord throughout. Like if you've got a question about something we're doing, just post it in there. We're all going to be keeping an eye, and I'll be making sure to kind of make note of these things. Some of them we can address right in Discord, of course, but this is also a good place to demo, even at the end of the day. So if there's something specific that you're like, I didn't quite understand the way that was phrased, or I'd love to learn more about this, those types of questions, please put them in Discord because we have that dedicated space to kind of go into more detail here. And as well, same thing tomorrow too. So the whole point of this, and the reason why we use Discord instead of just say like YouTube's chat, is we like to be able to kind of go through these and make sure that this Domains 101, 201 channel is itself a useful resource of people asking and answering questions. So highly encourage you to utilize that. I'm kind of thinking here, real quick, we'll go through some of this tomorrow, but just pointing out that tomorrow is basically the same schedule. We have advanced site troubleshooting, long-term management and account cleanup sessions, Installatron and site template session, and Reclaim Cloud and domain of one's own strategies on how to use those together, as well as what's next for domain of one's own, which is, I think, kind of exciting. Kind of one part talking about things that we're planning on doing this year or starting really even next week in some cases, and sort of dreaming up things that we'd like to see for domain of one's own and that we're hoping to focus and work on, as well as hear from you on things that you'd like to see. So yeah, that's kind of a quick overview. I think what we're going to do as a team is we're going to kind of get ready for our next session here, which is in about 15 minutes, and sign off. But before we do that, anything else anyone wants to add here about stuff they're looking forward to, or anything before we start our day?
I am really jazzed to meet everybody and to get the questions throughout the sessions. And not just the questions, but like I'm excited to get people saying, oh, I do it this way, or I thought, this is more efficient for us. Just share your use cases. I think that we're all going to be learning a lot from that.
Yeah, that's very much something that I'm looking forward to too. I always like hearing about how other people do things because, getting that new angle on something that I hadn't thought of before is really, really fun. There's also just a lot of people who are a part of this who I'm not as familiar with, who are sort of new to me, and I'm looking forward to getting to know you and to hearing about your projects, how you use domains, not just in terms of your workflows, but in terms of what it means and how it's useful to you and what role it plays for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say one thing I've learned since started working at Reclaim is there's no two schools who use domain of one's own 100% the same, which is great. That's kind of the whole point of it, right? Like, is that it's a toolbox that you can give to faculty, staff, and students to play in and create and build stuff. That's what I find so exciting about it. And the way that we see that manifested at Reclaim is everyone's doing slightly different things. A lot of people are, of course, using WordPress sites, but the way they use them and the way and who's using them and for what is always different. So in addition to those stories and kind of workflow and practical things that I would am really interested to see people talk about and ask questions about, I'm also always curious just examples. If you've seen a cool site that was made in your domain of zone recently that you're proud of, or maybe you're like, hey, this thing needs help and I don't know how to help them. I don't know what that, depending on what you're coming from, please share those. This is kind of a rich community in that sense of people doing a lot of different things, and I think this is a cool place to share them and talk about them. So, yeah, really excited for that too. So yeah, with that, I think we're going to take a short break and kind of get things ready. If you all have any questions, of course, put them in Discord, but we'll see you over in the next session, which is, sorry, what's the name of that one? A refresher on WordPress, WHMCS, and WHM in a little less than 15 minutes. So see you all over there. Thanks.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.